everybody, and welcome back to another Just Enough Heshy show. We got a great show for you tonight. I know we've been off for 2 weeks. I had to give away last week's time. I don't know why Etty told me not to give it away.
I tried.
But we had to give away the time to somebody to do some charitable things, and I have a lot of things to complain about, a lot of things to be happy about. And I would like to welcome my beautiful co-host, Etty. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you, Heshy. Good to be here.
Etty has an argument with me that I don't let her talk enough. I don't know why. I don't let women talk in general enough. We have two beautiful guests on my show tonight. We have Sawyer. She's the chairperson. Am I correct? Am I saying that correctly?
Correct.
Chairperson, American Against Anti-Semitism. Now, I know everybody in the whole world is preaching about they have these groups and organizations, but you guys are going to like what I have to say and who I'm joining up with, one of our new friends. And then, of course, we have this delicious man that I know for many years, Boomy, we call him, or Abe, whatever you want to say to him. I'm not allowed to know if I'm allowed to say his last name. Sawyer, am I allowed to say your last name?
It's okay. I can let you get away. I'll let you get away with it this time.
Say it. Tell him who you are.
I should say it?
Yeah. What do you want me to say?
I am Abraham Hoshander, and I am honored to be here tonight.
And he's a lawyer for many years who's done so much good, helped a lot of people, and he's a good-looking man. Are you?
I don't know. I think you better ask that to Esty and Sawyer.
Etty
and Sawyer.
So is he
Yes,
good
he
looking?
is.
He is.
He's a
So yeah, we're going to
fella.
talk about you too in a moment. But let me tell you how the show works. And I do it every week. And I know all my listeners are sick of me, but I don't care. It's my show, and I'm going to tell you again every week. Etty,
Yes.
are you listening?
I'm listening.
First, we're going to do a couple of commercials. Who have to pay for the show. It takes quickly. And then, in case we have this quote and joke, this quote that I'm very deep in thought every week. And then a quote. But as a matter of fact, this quote is about you guys. I want you to know. And then I go give a joke that nobody laughs at, but you have to laugh. Otherwise, you're in big trouble.
Yes, sir. So let's be written.
Anyways,
Okay.
our show begins as follows. We have a Chamula Jewelers. They're really wonderful people. They're located at 944 Kings Highway, 718-336-1980, 718-336-1980. Chamula Jewelers, a family-owned business for over 40 years, specializing in diamond engagement rings, eternity bands, and diamond jewelry. But just bring your own jewelry to redesign and freshen up. Chamula Jewelers, Etty.
We've got the sparkle for you.
They've got the sparkle for you. Wonderful. Again, you can visit them at 944 Kings Highway, 718-336-1980. By the way, guys, Sunday is my wife's birthday.
Well, happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
So I'm not taking her out to dinner.
Why not?
Shame on
It
you.
costs money.
You cheap.
I'm not cheap. She stole a lot of money this week, by the way, so she has to pay for me. Matter of fact, my birthday is 2 days after that.
Well, then in that case, let her take you out to dinner.
You see, now I love you, Boomy. You see, you
I
are a
love you
smart
too,
man.
Heshy.
You see, I want him to be on the show every week.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
We have ttstyles.com. This girl is doing good stuff. Her name is Teela Tischler. Yes, she's related to me. 718-675-6842. For all your hair, wigs, makeup, or every wedding event, party event, call Teela. TEETEESTYLES.com. TEETEESTYLES.com. 718-675-6842. Guys, she brings out what, Etty?
The beauty in you.
Beautiful. Then we have,
She will beautify you.
she will beautify.
To the T.
She's very cool. And you know what
To
she's
the
been
T.
doing lately, my girl? She, on Saturday nights, I told her not to do it because it's too much pressure for these young kids. Because, me and my wife, we do a lot of community service. We take in a lot of people. She now opened up a group for girls after Saturday night. The girls have nowhere to go or hang out on the streets or whatever. So in her house, she has 10, 15, 20 girls come, and they have speakers. They had a speaker like Rabbi Wallerstein, who I don't like at all. Really, I do like him, but I don't like him. Is he, you know Wallerstein?
Yeah. He's
heard
from
of him,
Muncie.
but I
He's a
don't
cousin
know.
of mine. He's a cousin of mine. But I sometimes don't like the way he's too tough on his girls. But again, he does work, and nobody else does the service that he does. And he came to speak with a whole bunch of other people, and she brings in these girls. So ttstyles.com. Go support her because she does a lot of good community service. Then we have my friend Avi Fleischer at 718-259-4593. Technical difficulties for all your computer needs. Wonderful guy. He does need a woman. He's divorced, but he really is a good-looking boy. Also, I try to help everybody.
Why not?
Anyways, he's
United
a good,
for all.
He's a good guy. He's in his 40s. I don't care if he's upset with me. 1504 60th Street. Technical difficulties for all your computer needs. He fixes you online, backwards, forwards. I just love him. And then we have Fallon's, located at 3132 Bedford Avenue. She has dresses for teens, women, shoes for adults. Just a wonderful place located at 3132 Avenue J in Brooklyn. It's, again, beautiful clothing for adults, teens, and children. Located again at 3132 Bedford Avenue. Just a great place. Go there. Avenue J bus, right on the corner of J and Bedford Avenue. I like her. Very good. And then right next to her, we have Wolf's Grocery, a friend of mine.
Yes.
And you know, I'm not so happy with him because I was making fun of Kalman Yeager the other day, our councilman, which I'm going to explain to you who this guy is. I'm not so happy with him. He's missing in action. I made a video that it was snowing. So everybody screamed, you didn't even give him chance to shovel. Excuse me. All he has to do is call up sanitation to shovel. I have to give Kalman Yeager to shovel. This guy,
that's what councilmen
he's
do.
missing in action since November. And I have to tell him to call. So everybody starts screaming at me. So Wolf's Grocery, I went in for a coffee and a Danish. Sometimes I'm a little tight with money, as you can tell, because I don't want to buy my wife dinner. So I try to steal his free coffee and Danish for him. So he gives me a whole half-hour speech. He says, why'd you make fun of Kalman? Well, anyways, Wolf's Grocery, located at 2362 Nostrand Avenue, located at Avenue corner of Avenue J and Nostrand Avenue, open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., 718-252-1863, 718-252-1863. Wolf's Grocery, I really, really think you should all go there and buy stuff. I told you about Fallon's already. And then, of course, our last commercial for the night, not for the night, but for now, $25 car rental. They're located on 18th Avenue and Coney Island Avenue. You get in the car Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yes, for $25, as long as you want it. Minivans, $35. They help you with your insurance company if you have accidents. 718-851-2000 or 800-2495-2495, which you know that means that's at the $24.95. Etty, you do this commercial. Okay. She's going to do it. She's all embarrassed to do it. Go do a commercial.
So all right. Next one up is Ideal Services in Rockland County. Services all New York tri-state area. This is an agency that has all things for every occasion, including waiters, maitre d's, kitchen staff, captains, licensed bartenders. Again, they service the entire tri-state area from soup to nuts.
So
Call
if I make a party, they come?
Didn't you have one you sang last time?
Right, I did.
You had two waiters
come again
to a house party.
So I'm asking you again.
Absolutely. They will come to
That's
your
all you
house.
have to do is say yes.
They do private parties like
Good.
at your house.
Good.
And then they'll do big parties up to 300 staff at once. The name to ask for is Sam. Phone number is 845-842-6228.
They must be a fabulous establishment, considering that they'll even come to your house.
They do come to my house.
Yeah,
wonderful. You could call into the show, everybody, 718-303-9090, 718-303-9090. Ask my guests anything. Ask me anything. And we're going to start the show right now. 718, you can watch me on YouTube, Just Enough Heshy, Facebook, Just Enough Heshy, Twitter me, Just Enough Heshy. Etty, we got to make you an Etty. Just enough Etty.
How about that?
No, Just Enough Heshy.
No other Just Enoughs?
There's no Just
How about more than enough, Etty?
How about that? I like it.
Wow. You guys are trying to con me Anyway, 718-303-9090, call into the show. Anyways, guys, this is the best part of the show. I have to give you my quote for the day. And this is a quote that I'm talking about. I was thinking about you guys. Are you ready?
No, this is the quote.
This is the quote. Not yet, Sonia. You got to talk. You got to have everybody. You got to have everybody hear your comments. Talk into the mic when you're talking behind my back. Anyways, here's my quote of the day. It's easy to get so wrapped up in fixing your own life that you forget about helping others. And while it's important to help yourself and sometimes make yourself come first, it's even more important to help others whenever you can.
Absolutely.
And these people right over here are delicious people, and they're opening up, and I'm going to talk to you about Sonia, about her Americans Against Anti-Semitism. We have a big event coming up with her at Shomer Amuna at 5202 14th Avenue. We're going to talk about it. And a guest speaker is one of my favorite people. Yes, I make fun of him from time to time, but really I know Doe for many years, and sometimes I get upset with him, but I get upset with my own brother. I get upset with my children. Right now I'm fighting with my two boys.
Look, eventually, hopefully things will iron itself out. How's the baby?
The baby, you mean the little granddaughter?
Never.
She's turning 1 year old between my wife's and my birthday. So she's the 27th, the baby's the 28th, and I'm the 29th.
Oh,
well, then happy birthday to the baby.
Happy birthday, but I'm fighting with my son, so I don't know if I'm going to go to the birthday party.
Well, things will
Am
work
I just an
itself
idiot?
out. Yes.
I think you should go to the birthday party.
I'm going. Trust me, I'm the one paying.
But don't look at your son.
So I'm not talking. And I work with him all day long. Anyways, our guest speaker of that event is going to be Dov Hiken, and I'm going to be there, and I'm going to give him a big hug no matter what. Anyways, everybody, here's my joke, and everybody better laugh at this joke, because This I worked hard at this joke.
Remember that. Now you got to laugh, regardless of how you feel about the joke.
Okay.
I'm gonna
That's
laugh.
right. That's
Okay.
right.
I'm gonna laugh.
Anyways, here's the deal. I went to my doctor, Dr. Friedman, very nice man,
Mhm.
and I was complaining about insomnia. I don't really sleep that much. So Dr. Friedman gave me a thorough examination, and he found nothing wrong with me, just complaining. So so the doctor said, "Listen, Mr. Tischler, if you ever expect insomnia, just stop taking your troubles to bed with you."
No.
So I said, "I know, doc, but I can't. My wife doesn't want to sleep alone." I love you guys. These guys are coming on my show every week. They're coming on my show. This is the first time my guest laughed. This is a wonderful
Is
thing.
it good one?
Bada bing, bada
By the way, I
bang.
told Linda the joke before I came on the
Oh,
show.
no.
Yeah, she didn't talk to me on the way here.
Well, yeah, can't blame her for that.
Anyways, guys, I want to talk to you before we get to your anti-Semitism thing, and I want you to know, yes, I do get upset with our politicians from time to time, and I want to tell you what happened this week. You know, I'm very much when I volunteer in the hospital, I go into the ward that has a lot of the young kids that have suicides, and we had 78 last year already, and this year already we had one that I know of. And I go visit the kids, we talk to them. I have a lot of young kids come to my house. Yesterday there was a fire. I mean, yes, 2 days ago there was a fire.
Yeah.
12-year-old girl.
12-year-old girl, which I tried to help work with the family. We almost got her into one of our kids to come live with us. Even Linda was screaming at me, "Why didn't you work harder?" The red tape in this town is so hard. I couldn't get this girl into my house. There's no way I could get her, and I tried. I wasn't going to kidnap her, and then I go to jail. So the parents somehow got back hold of her. And what happened was that she lived in this house. There was no heat in the house. Again, our community does not care. Mental illness does not mean, again, let me stress it, that somebody has to be living on the street. Mental illness is somebody like me with a little bit of an issue that needs a medicine. 25% of the United States takes medicine. Help them. Be kind to your neighbors. Watch out for them. Anyways, something happened. There was a fire in the house. The father was sleeping in a separate apartment because there's a problem. The mother upstairs a little nutty. Yes, she had some issues. And what happened? There was a fire in the house and the baby died. And you know what? I was so proud of our community because a lot of people just came to give support at the funeral. It was such a beautiful thing. Now, during the day, we had a problem with getting the child away from the medical examiner. They wanted to give her an autopsy, and Jewish people don't do autopsies for their kids. So we had a whole problem, and this Wisconsin people really were very good to me. They helped, they fought, and by 5 o'clock, they got the baby released, and at 7 o'clock, we had the funeral. Now, in the meantime, they did call me to try to help as well, because I was involved. I always give a little bit of money, some donations. We try to help these families out. And I called your councilman, Kalman Yeager, not yours, Etty.
I was about to ask just this minute,
I
where
called-
was Councilman Yeager?
Nowhere missing in action. And I called Senator Felder, cried and threatened and screamed. I want him to call me back. He knows me. I call his cell phone. I even have his cell phone number. And you know what? 0, 0, 0. And I was all nervous that there was going to be no funeral. We couldn't get the medical examined. There was going to be an autopsy. They were like going to blame the parents for
It's a
something.
shame.
And I want you to know this is what he's here for. He's not here to sit in City Hall and make a $90 billion budget. You know, the mental illness thing, they gave $1 billion to that crazy wacko de Blasio's wife. And she's only there to do some kind of research to teach government employees, like building department inspectors, sanitation people, to address mental illness and notice it. Are you crazy?
Shuffle papers.
Right. What shuffle? Notice you guys are not qualified. You need to be social workers, college, educated, psychiatrists. You have some idiot inspector, and a lot of them, I don't want to knock you, Sonia, but they have women who are inspectors today
Oh, yeah.
who never lifted a nail or a hammer, and they're making them inspectors just to give us fines. You're giving an unqualified person who shouldn't even be an inspector to be some kind of social worker to take mental illness people off the street.
Terrible.
So this is what happened,
Yeah.
and $1 billion went. Chaim Deutsch, our councilman from the next neighborhood, is on this committee to watch her. She spent $1 billion. Nothing was done.
They don't even have a
Nothing is-
record of what
right.
she spent it on.
And Chaim Deutsch was trying to view it. He sat there playing with his telephone. And now Mr. Deutsch, who I actually like, I know him for many years, but again, he did nothing. He takes pictures with everybody, which is very nice. And you know what? I'll tell you exactly what happened. 0, and now he's running for Congress. This is what we need. Another guy to go, and these guys take pictures. So this is my point. Wherever you see, of course, the New Jersey shooting, you know, when they had that Jersey shooting of those people.
Of course.
It was terrible. So what happened? Very simple. Everybody showed up for pictures because it was all over the newspapers. This little fire had very little news blip. So what happened? Nobody came. No politicians. Nobody showed up. It was only me. Yes, I did go in front of the cameras, and I did rant and rave, and they didn't put me on the news at the end of the day. But again, where was our politicians? Why didn't they come take pictures? We have no problem taking pictures.
Heshy, this is not the past. When Dov Hikind retired, okay, after nearly 4 decades of being in office, he was the last one that actually did things and showed up at things, not for the paper coverage, at least in my view, and he did it because he really meant it. And he did it because to help whoever he can. And that's what he's been spending his life doing. He's always been in the forefront.
He really
After
cares.
he retired, you know, I mean, now he's working on this Americans Against Anti-Semitism, and he's at the forefront in the battle against anti-Semitism as well right now. And he has always been, and I know him since I practically the beginning. I say it's almost 40 years plus 40 years.
I was there for his first campaign as well, you know.
I don't remember that, but I
was
imagine
working,
you say
I
so.
was fighting with Love. What's her first name? Not Yona Love, but her mother. And we were standing on Avenue C, and I was assigned to that public school. Me and her were fighting with each other.
And I remember back then that Sammy Hirsch's niece almost beat the hell out of me at my pole on 18th Avenue and 47th Street at the time.
Wow. You got the better place.
I got the better place. We
Avenue
were killing
C
each other at that time.
Right. Back then, we just beat each other up.
That's right. In those days, it was very different. But truth is, Dove did have an incredible career and did go out of his way to see to it that the community is led. And as the New York's Orthodox community leader, he did his thing, and there's nobody left right now.
So I know Dove for many years, and I know he's done good, but sometimes he falls off the track. Like he'll find some big program, and then he forgets about it. Let's take a phone call, Etty, for a minute. Take a quick phone call. Push the button. Right? Yep. Hello, you're on the air with Etty, Sonia, Bumian, Heshy. How are you?
Hello, this is Eddie from Dyker Heights, Heshy.
Eddie, how are you, Eddie?
Hello, you, and hello, all your guests.
Hi there, Eddie. How are you tonight?
Say hello to Eddie.
Listen, leading into what you're talking about, this cash bail business, where the judge can now no longer take into consideration the safety of the public. I mean, the best example was that Tiffany Harris, who assaulted 3 Orthodox women. Then they let her go.
Yes.
Then she assaulted another one. They let her go. And assaulted another one. And then there's
what about the murderer in Queens? He raped a 92-year-old woman and killed her.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So that should be the public outcry, and that's what you should be going after. But that includes everybody, and it seems like the Orthodox community is one of the prime targets, and it's usually perpetrated by a certain group of people.
Eddie, is that really true? I mean, Eddie, I want to ask you a question. Last year, there were 311 homicide shootings. There was 2,000 regular shootings. I'm not even going to talk about crime, rape, robberies, break-ins, and other assaults. Even though the police department claimed that crime is down 25%, I promise you, I don't believe it. I know it's up, and I believe that the police are so busy ticketing. But my question to you is I do hear a bunch of anti-Semitism, and I'm going to talk to you this question too, Sonia. I do know Soya. There is anti-Semitism. There's bad in every single religion, in every single race. But really, is it that much against the Jews? Because if you walk down the streets, black on black crime, Chinese crime, hateful people, I hear people saying names to other black people, to other Chinese people. They talk. I hear people in power talking bad about other races, and I stand there and I listen, and I just don't understand. So
there's been a spike in anti-Semitic crimes. Yes.
Okay. Yes, I hear that.
Oh, I'm sure you're right, Big H. But I'm saying the one in particular, it always seems like it's black unorthodox Jewish. I'm sure what you said about other people having prejudices or grievances, one or the other, or both. Tell me something. This Assembly Speaker Carl Hasty, who doesn't want to review this.
Oh my God, I hate him so much.
Is he black? I don't know.
I think he's, what is he, Spanish? Black?
Latino?
That's what I thought he was.
Well, the reason is because I've come across that name, and in Florida, there was a black judge who was dismissed from office for wrongdoing. And what did they do? The local people elected him to Congress, and he was there for quite a while thereafter. But this is something, because, yes, I've heard some numbers from ex-Commissioner Bratton, who was a police commissioner, that compared to earlier times, like during Dinkins, the numbers of murders are way down.
again, saying that numbers and word are way down from the olden days is like a crazy thing. You know why?
But it's rising again.
I know it's only rising, but I want to live in a world where it's just a little bit better, where not every day I have to be
Yes.
scared to walk out in the street.
That's
It's just
right.
a crazy thing that's going on there.
Yeah, but
And
you
so-
know what?
yeah.
If some of these people, the so-called solons of lawmakers, if they were subjected or their family was affected, and until that happens and enough people get irate, it's going to continue. In other words, it's got to get bad, a lot worse before it's going to
it
get
gets
better.
Eddie,
Yes.
I want to go to a different topic,
Yes.
and I want Abe and Sorry to listen to me, okay? We have an impeachment hearing going on. You know that with President Trump. Now, fat little Mr. Nadler, Nazi pig dog that he is. You know who I'm talking about?
And Mr. Schiff.
Well,
Yeah.
Mr. Ship is just a loser whacker. He's actually mentally ill. I believe he needs medicine. I mean, but Nadler gets up on stage over there and he accuses the whole Senate for cover-ups. We're actually covering up some kind of crime. Now, forget the man wasted right now 2 years of taxpayer money doing
Yes.
nothing, not representing. Plus, he's short and fat. Really, I think he's just an ugly little man. But I'm not going to read that up so many times. But the man gets up there, and I'm watching him read a ready prepared speech. He goes on into the middle of the night talking, preparing speech. He doesn't even preach. He doesn't come up with any evidence. He just wanted to get on television
Yeah.
in front of the whole world to look like a big shot. That is not called an impeachment hearing. That is called being an idiot. And when he comes up for Congress next time, I am going to make sure that we have the right candidate to go after this little nothing of a man. And you know, he also shows up at all the events, takes pictures, and he makes believe that he's somebody, but he just takes pictures and he actually accomplishes nothing.
He has a very unusual district, Heshy. He goes from the west side of Manhattan down and across into Brooklyn.
Right, and that's my problem. He also is very much into the gay community, and that's why he keeps getting reelected, because that's where his money's coming from. Because none of us Jews support him. We actually don't like him in our neighborhood, but somehow the Russian people keep falling in for him, and he knows how to play his game. And I don't know, sometimes these idiot politicians, and this man has no brains.
Don't forget the liberal Jews across the water that
Yeah.
are also a big part of his district, his
Yes,
congressional
yeah.
district.
Probably
They
not-
still vote for him. And
Why?
I frankly,
Why? What
I
has
am
he ever
frankly-
done?
First of all, as far as the impeachment hearing is concerned, that is a complete charade.
Right.
Yeah.
That should not be happening at all. The president did nothing wrong. In
But
fact,
why? So
he's
why
the
is
best
this? So
president in
Billy,
history.
why is this going on?
I don't know why Fat Jerry
I
is
love it.
doing
I love this boy. I love you.
why he is doing what he is doing. Frankly, I'm perplexed. I'm shocked. I'm totally bewildered
But
by him, because as far as I understood, at least years ago, Fat Jerry sent his kids to Ramaz, which is a yeshiva.
right.
He used to go to shul on Shabbat with a yarmulke.
Oh, really?
That's what I had heard. And to suddenly become so totally anti everything and liberalized to the point where he goes along with a Congress, a Democratic Party, which has proven to be nothing more than a totally anti-Semitic, anti-everything, anti-morality party, is shocking to me.
Right, so Nadler thinks he's going to be somebody by being on television in front of the people. He's just making himself look like a fool. By the way, everybody, 718-303-9090, you can call in. But here's my thing about this stupidity.
Please.
We know it's no good. We know what he's doing is a waste of time, and still we're allowing him to do this. I mean, it's just not fair, and you're wasting taxpayers' money, his salary, our time. Nobody's being representative. I'm just very upset about
So
it.
the only thing
You
to
have
do
every
is go to the voting booths. That's
Okay.
what you need
Now,
to do.
People have to
so
change their
now
mind.
I want to forget about the Congress. Even though you're a Democrat, some people like me, you still have to.
I'm a registered
Right,
Democrat,
and I
notwithstanding
support-
my feelings right now.
And I support Trump 100%. Why didn't Kalman Yeager? Why didn't your buddy Dov Hikind? I did not hear him support Trump. And
Dove, that's not correct.
he did.
Dove has been supporting Trump all the way
How
from
come I
the
don't hear
beginning.
him screaming?
He does. And right now you can't hear him as much because he's out of office. He's already retired.
Okay, so
But
you're
when-
telling me he's a big
All
time
along, he was a very big Trump supporter. He met with Trump. He's always been there.
You know
If
he
look at
was.
his
A,
Facebook
you know he was
page,
a Hillary supporter. He was a big
People
time
do
Hillary.
change.
Well,
Some people change.
you know, and people sometimes make occasional mistakes as
Okay,
well.
okay, so I'll give you that one. No problem. So then again, Kalman Yeager, I have not heard from. Felder, I have not heard from. These are my local people. David Schwartz, Sergio, none of these guys have come out for Trump, who has done so much for our community. I'm not talking that the stock market is going crazy. And I'm not talking that even the unemployment rate is 3%. It's going to even be lower. I'm talking everything is going good. And Trump said that it would have been even better if the Fed wouldn't have screwed around with interest rates, if there wouldn't have been earthquakes, if there wouldn't have been a strike. So you're talking our economy could have been so much more better, Eddie, and still we don't appreciate Trump. And
I think that much of our current, what I refer to as adolescent leadership, we have babies in office, Mr. Yeager, Mr. Deutsch. These are children that are not prepared either, just like AOC are not. Well, I won't.
AOC,
let me not compare them to AOC. I'm sorry.
Right.
I apologize. I take that back.
AOC's
but they're certainly should not yet be holding public office because they are simply not completely
they
prepped
control
to
a $90 billion budget. They've never run a company. They've never, even Mr. Yeager, who is a lawyer, who's never even prosecuted or defended a case. His father is very good. And this guy just sat on a community board.
$90 billion?
$90 billion
Wow.
New York City budget.
Is there any transparency for what they're doing with all those funds?
No. You know, there's
because there's only one party.
Money to be controlling.
$160 million given out for special education. Nobody knows where this money's going.
One party, and there's no one to dig in.
Going.
We're voting them in, though. We are voting them in.
Our people. And now I want to tell you something. You know Henry Kissinger. A lot of us older guys know Henry Kissinger. Kissinger said on Trump, who's now 96 years old, he said that Donald Trump is a phenomenon. In the foreign, just the foreign countries are just, they have never seen anything like him before. You know, he makes sure he puts his foot down. He doesn't play games. He's not like a Hillary Clinton person, and they will never admit that he's a really leader. He's a true leader. But really, what Mr. Trump does is lead this country. This man cares for his country, and we have a stupid impeachment to throw him out.
That is absolutely correct. You know, most
Trump.
people,
just by the way, I'm giving you the quote of Kissinger. Trump puts America and its people first.
That's
correct. What he said he was going to do.
And that's exactly what he's been doing. He's trying to undo all the disasters done by the prior administration. And in trying to do so, they're just all over him. They don't want to let him in.
The administration did nothing.
We had an administration that did nothing but it caused ruination left and right.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it started right when he was voted in. Like how many hours later, they already tried to find something on him.
You know, you're impeaching a president on high crimes and misdemeanors that don't exist.
Right.
And they actually think that we're stupid. And you know what? I'm watching CNN who go against President Trump.
That's the Clinton News Network. It's
very good.
It's established.
Even some of their people are saying that, you know, this is just stupidity. That Mr. Nadler and his cohorts are just doing a bad job. I mean, how do you accuse? Also, by the way, they accuse the defense team or the lawyers for Trump also of doing stupidity, like Alan Dershowitz. This guy is a professional. This guy's been a law professor. You know about lawyer, right? Tell us about Dershowitz. Isn't he just
Alan
great?
Dershowitz in the legal profession, amongst his legal circles and all around, is considered to be a legal legend, as Sawyer says. He is a constitutional law genius. And if he says that there is no basis for it in law whatsoever for this so-called charade of an impeachment, that's exactly what it is.
And that should be it.
He's
saying it exactly.
Some of the greatest constitutional scholars have said it in addition to him, such as Mark Levin.
Yes,
renowned Mark Levin. Mark Levin, he's a great constitutional scholar, a genius.
Yes, he
and
is.
they're making fun of our people. It's just unacceptable.
Yes.
Well, let's hope the people got smart enough in November, so we take back the House. Trump gets reelected, and we add a few more senators. And then if they hadn't won in 18, they couldn't be doing this in the House of Representatives.
Right.
Eddie, you are just wonderful. Again, I have to ask you the same question like I ask every week. Was my joke funny?
Actually, as long as you know your wife doesn't get too upset and you're not being accused of discrimination against women, it was very funny.
Well, she every week accuses me of discrimination, and she gets mad at me every week, so I never win anyways.
Talk to you next week, Eddie.
Hey, bye.
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 So you understand, guys. By the way, so again, I'm an advocate. I don't like children committing suicide. I don't like children dying. I don't like even the adults committing suicide. We are not taking care of our citizens. You're right. The guys who make money, the guys who pay their taxes. Hey, you know, I saw a cop today pull over a guy. I actually stopped behind it, started video filming it. About 4 minutes later, they let him go. He had his dash cam there. He said, look at, and I was watching. I knew he's a Sherman guy in Flatbush. He points, he says, I was watching him as he was standing, and afterwards I spoke to him on Avenue J and East 19th Street. He pulls it, he points to his dash cam, he says, I did not use my phone. The cop came over and said, you were using it. He says, no problem. Do you want me to play it for you? And he kept the video going. And at the end, the cop let him go. I'm just telling you, we're too busy ticketing and punishing, and it's called taxation by citation. And they're not doing anything. I came out Saturday night from my house pissed that there was snow all over. I saw 4 accidents because nothing was shoveled. Garbage was not picked up. Again, all Mr. Yeager had to do in my community is call my local sanitation guy, say, hey, pick your behind up and get you out there. No trucks, no salting. And what did I do 10 minutes later? Because my wife drags me Saturday night. We have a date every Saturday night.
You seem
Lucky
very
you.
happy about that.
Well, she
I don't know how lucky she is, but you're very lucky.
So we take some people with us, but she took me out for pizza at Amnon's.
Mm.
And then I have to go shopping with
She's
her.
a fancy lady, I can
Fancy.
see.
Well,
Wow.
she knows our budget's pretty tight, even though she got an increase this month.
You know, I was thinking of taking Soy out on a date one night to ShopRite. And
But,
she, you know,
so
possibly.
right afterwards, we go to ShopRite.
Oh, there you go.
And she makes me drag up 40 bags, 3 flights of stairs. She's crazy, this girl. You know what I mean? It's just whacked out of her brain.
Well, there's always a reason to bring along the horse, you know.
Right. So after I drove by, and I just walk around in dreamland as she's buying stuff, and every time she takes another thing off the shelf, I say, Linda, please stop. Stop. I have to schlep it up. And when she does that heavy boxes of ties and stuff, I know I'm a dead man. You know what I mean? I'm just crazy. My boys don't live at home anymore.
You're going to be buying a lot of detergent next week.
Oh, shoot. This girl is whacked in her brain, but 30 years, she's still with me. But my thing is, after we left ShopRite, right over there was 19th Avenue and 53rd Street. And I said, Linda, let's go for a drive just by the sanitation trucks. And we drove over there to 55th, 56th Street. All the trucks lined up, not moving, with their little shovels, nowhere to go. And I got out of my car. And I started making fun of them. I said, I found Calvin Yeager. He must be with the trucks. If you're able to find the missing garbage trucks, you can find Calvin Yeager. And everybody started texting me, how do you make fun of our councilman? Make fun of him. I don't even know where he is. You know what I mean? But that's my point. Our politicians come out when it's time for them. They want to be budgets. I want to see them in my community. I want to see them walking around. I want to see them coming to the jails and helping me with the felons. I want to see them helping us with foster care. I want them to have a constituent liaison, constantly letting people like me come and talk to them.
When you talk about our politicians coming out when it's only for them rather than for the community, Sawyer can give you just a little interesting story that she's aware of a past politician who was able to bring in a substantial sum of money into our local area, Borough Park, and how the Borough Park Flatbush and the local Dyker Heights, and how that money was distributed. Sorry, would you like to tell us a little
But
about that?
I want to say one thing
Yeah.
before Suri does. By the way, there's a guy by the name of Yerocham Silva, and I'm very upset with him because he bankrupted JCC, whatever, an organization.
Which JCC is
In Flatbush.
Flatbush.
He ran it for a while. Now he is an Aguda representative. Aguda that's supposed to stop a guy by the name of Moster. This guy and Mr. Yeager, Mr. Deutsch, Mr. Felder, and every politician that ran swore to stop this guy Moster. This guy Moster wants to put run yeshiva education.
Am I allowed to ask what's his first name?
He wants to run yeshiva education.
I forgot what's his first name again. I forgot. Naftali Moster.
That name is very familiar.
Right.
to
So
me.
so Naftali Moster is just a loser. He started this organization called Yafed, and he makes only 50, 60 grand, all donations. And he's out there screwing, and he tried to stop yeshivas and get sex education and other education in yeshivas in Rockland County. They stopped him. Here in New York City, nobody stopped him. They're good. There was the only one that's supposed to stop him, and they couldn't even. They're scared. They're scared of him. But Aguda sends this guy Yerocham Silva. They hired him to be his representative. Where does he go? He hangs out in Albany, takes pictures with every politician. I don't know why you have to send him to Albany. Why can't you go to the politicians right here in our community? Go to your assemblyman, your councilman, your district leader, all of your mayors. Why do you have to go to Albany to stop pitching them? Because you want to take pictures. This
You're
Yerocham-
absolutely right.
And this Yerocham
I
Silva-
barely even know who our assemblyman is
Exactly.
nowadays.
I happen to like our assemblyman is a guy by the name of Mr. Atkins. I see him
I
every
know his
Shabbos,
name, yeah.
and he's really a good, and he's actually trying. They push him too hard, but he helped me. He helped somebody, a young boy who had a problem with health care. They wouldn't send him to Cincinnati for a special operation. He got on the phone, he threatened them, just for one kid. He threatened the health care, he threatened the Blue Cross, got them the money and did it. And I've seen him do this. He came with me to the jails, trying to fight for air conditioning for convicts. He actually cares. I even took a fellow.
You ought to take Sawyer with you.
So I
she
took-
can speak. She
she
can
should come.
speak.
You know.
Okay,
but
so
they-
can we hear Sawyer's story
right.
that she
So,
was going
anyways,
to tell?
that's my story on that.
Okay,
Then,
so let
but
Sawyer have the mic.
we have on. But by the way, Sawyer, I just want you to tell me again on January 29th. That's next Wednesday. We have at 6:30 in the evening at Shomer Emunah at 5202 14th Avenue. You're going to have
That's
a meeting about anti-Semitism. So what does that mean?
That means that we want to have, it's going to be a parlor meeting, and we'd love for everybody to show up that can show their support. And we're going to put together some ideas and suggestions. We already have some, but we want to hear from everybody who shows up, their thoughts on how we can combat anti-Semitism. It can't just be physically that we're going to fight it, that we're going to teach, how to defend ourselves. It's going to be also that we want to kind of like nip it in the bud. We don't want to wait till it's that we have to fight it. We need to be proactive, and we can't just be sitting, in our homes and sitting ducks, putting our heads in the sand and saying, "Oh, this is happening."
So, Sawyer,
This can turn into another.
Anti-Semitism, if I may pardon me, Sawyer,
Go ahead.
is the latest epidemic. This is something. Look, historically, there has always been anti-Semitism, but recently, there has been one attack after another, and there seems to be a dramatic uprise in anti-Semitism on the whole. And so, while we're dealing with this, we have to sit down with everybody and people throughout the community. We'd like to have a discussion going, and with Dov Hiki's leadership. And he's always been at the forefront, as I said before. And we have to discuss the various ways that we can combat this disease. We can't allow ourselves to have to live in fear like we did in 1930 Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Dov says it's not that far. I'm being a little bit radical about it, but I don't think so. There have been times after the recent spate of attacks that happened that I felt like, I went out feeling like, I could be a Jew in 1930 Germany. And, it's like I walked out of a restaurant a few weeks ago on a Sunday night, and I said to my mother, Ma, I watched the people sitting at the tables, having their lovely dinners and their lovely meals. And then I closed my eyes, I listened to the noise, and I listened to the din of the Jews speaking and laughing and everything that's going on. And then I suddenly have this picture in my head of like a movie of the Jews in Germany, 1930, circa 1930-ish. And I hear the same thing, see the same thing, and what happens later, a few years later. And now history could be repeating itself. I hope not. But we have to fight it now on all levels.
But my question to you is, okay, so now we're going to have this meeting. Dov is going to get up, and you're going to have. But what do you have a plan? Do you have an idea? Do we have a direction that what we're going to do? Do we have the police on board?
The answer is yes.
But I just want you to know, a couple of weeks ago, they had on Hanukkah, they had Mr. Yeager, who finally did show up for a minute. He brought our borough president in to buy some Hanukkah $3 item from Eichler's. This is what he did. They brought this guy in, this borough president, who we never see in our neighborhood, and nothing to do with us, doesn't even help us. And all of a sudden, he brings him in to what? To buy a $3 item, and they're all smiling on the streets. And then Mr. Yeager and Mr. Deutsch go to City Hall, and they light Hanukkah candles for who? For the non-Jews, which is very nice. Why aren't you making a big menorah here in the center of town? Why aren't you taking pictures? And they bring out community leaders that half of us don't even know. They get up and they speak, and we don't know anything. Yes, we do know who Dov is, but when he leads us in this new project of ours,
this is a fight.
A fight. It's new fight. What is our direction? How are we going to do it? Are we going to scream at the police who don't really care? You're right. I have seen a lot of the police.
No, we need the police.
Okay, but I have seen a lot of the police officers sometimes sitting in front of the synagogues, but they're too busy ticketing. They're too busy bringing in an income.
Well, I wouldn't go say that. There was a time I said that, as a matter of fact, recently to a couple of police officers who I saw sitting in front of my home, actually. And they were sitting in their car, and I had walked out. And I said to them, officers, you know something? In the past, when I saw you sitting around or being in the car, it didn't matter to me one way or another, whether I saw you, whether you were there, whether you weren't there. But now that you're there, and I see you now, I feel very differently. I get a little bit of a sense of security, and I feel a little bit of warmth knowing that you're here and that you're keeping an eye on us. And so this officer reached out and he shook my hand and he said, thank you very, very much. We're trying our best.
Hey,
So
I have police officers on my block. We have 3 synagogues, and I'm very strong on my block with cameras now because they messed up on a camera when Dove was in charge of those cameras. So I have cameras all over my block watching our synagogues, and they do have police officers from time to time on my block, and I always make sure to go out there, give them the code to my office so they can use the bathroom because we actually have toilet paper, and I give them bottles of water. And I
Your
tell
wife,
them to
no
make
doubt.
themselves go. My wife does. Happens to be
she
she's
uses
the
it.
one that brings the toilet paper in the
would've thought
house
so.
because I don't do that, and she's
Okay.
very good because we have a lot of people coming in. So yes, I do appreciate police officers, but I don't appreciate when they take advantage of us, when they pull us over and they make us suffer.
Well, that's not them.
It is
That's the mayor
Right.
wanting to get
a mayor who's
funding.
right. Another one. And
for-
do you know that his wife is going to run for borough president?
Yeah.
I just don't
Why
understand.
would she
it.
want to step
Well,
down?
he needs
She's
to raise more
already
money
acting
for her.
mayor for all these years. Why would she want to step down to a borough presidency?
I got you.
Aren't her powers infinitely wider as current mayor of New York?
Well, Etty, you like women. I mean, you think that all women should be in power, anyways.
Not all, but certain women, yes. Not all.
How about if you're a gay woman?
Why not?
Gay people are okay with you.
Sure, they yes.
How about you, my brother? Are you happy
Doesn't
with the gay
matter
people?
what goes on in their bedroom.
Well, it's not exactly my cup of tea, but that doesn't mean that I would have a problem with them being in public office in the right places.
So let me ask you a question. If you had a
If they have-
lady, you had a gay woman come into your house and say, I'm going to build you a new kitchen. Do you actually trust a woman to be a contractor?
Absolutely.
Why? She can't even lift 2x4s.
What are her-
What
are her
Don't ever say that in front of
credentials? Hold on
Sawyer.
a
Watch
minute.
out.
Ah,
Sawyer can
hold
lift the
on.
2x4. She lifts me up in one
She's
hand.
running a company.
What are her
She's very
credentials?
smart.
What is
She's
her
running-
experience?
she's
Why
running-
am I judging her on her gender or anything else?
I don't know. So you're just, well, it's not just that. I'm getting to a point is there's a
Oh.
gay guy running for president. And I don't think that he's qualified.
Pete
He's got about as
Buttigieg?
much a chance as a snowball in Helen
Okay.
winning anyway.
Correct.
Well,
So
he's
I
probably
wouldn't waste my time with him.
He's going to predominantly get the gay vote. Okay. So then he's going to be missing out on a very big percentage that's not gay. So his percentage
He
would
has
be
no
less.
chance.
But
He doesn't have anything.
if
He's not
he
bringing
won-
anything to the table anyway.
if he won,
So
I'm sure he would be winning because he
he's
brought
a
something to
lousy
the table.
mayor. No
he
one's
spoke
voting
very
for
well.
him either.
So I have another
Heshy,
question. Who do
Heshy.
you think? Sorry, we're going to go around the table. Who do you think is going to be the nominee for the
Sawyer.
Democratic? For the Democratic thing, Biden. I think it's Biden, but again, Bernie Sanders has a pretty good chance.
right now he's up
Bernie
there.
He's
Sanders.
an idiot. I know that.
Bearish
I'm voting for
Senderovich.
Trump.
No, but can I
Bearish
discuss something?
Senderovich,
Can I
ladies and
discuss-
gentlemen.
Can I talk?
Our Jew, who is the reincarnation of what we refer to as the mixed multitude,
Right.
or in Hebrew, the Erev Rav in the last generation before the coming of the Messiah.
Can I
The
say
self-hating Jew.
something? Can I discuss? No, this has nothing to do with any of this, but something that's
Please.
really serious right
Tell
now
us.
that's in the news. No,
Yes.
it's not even funny.
Oh.
This new coronavirus. Do you know about it? Okay, so it's a virus that's coming from China, and it's killed quite a few people in China. And right now, people coming in from that country are being scanned at the airport with some kind of I don't know what it's a thermal scan to see if anyone has a fever, but they can't scan if these people already have the virus in them and they're coming here. So right now they're looking at a potential outbreak if we're not going to quarantine these people or stop.
Wait, Etty, are you
flights from
saying that
coming
even
in.
if they're scanned, they cannot detect?
They can only detect on the thermal thing if there's a fever,
Aha.
not if the person has
So
this
they can be
virus. in it. They
carriers
can
and be
carriers.
undetected carriers.
Right. So JFK is doing this scan, JF Kennedy Airport. They're trying to get it into Newark now, but it's still not foolproof. The only way to do it really is quarantine, which is not going to happen. They're not going to bring in flights from China. That's too much of an economic loss and all that. And we have to really look at this seriously
Let's
now.
take a phone call.
This is this is a very deadly virus that could potentially harm citizens in the United States. I just wanted to bring
Do
that
they have
up.
anything to fight it?
push the button.
No.
Push
Hold on.
5. Hello, you on the air with Heshy?
Сейчас набери
Hello, you on the air with Heshy and Etty?
Hello.
Yeah, Heshy, how are you?
Good.
How are you?
I called your office today to refer you a client. Unfortunately, no one got back to us. So I just want to...
Okay, he'll be open at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. You can call.
I'll try again tomorrow.
Anything you want to talk
It must have
about?
been one of those. We had a rough day today, and we did have a lot of people coming and going. And we had Martin Luther King holiday, so we were all shorthanded. I didn't get your phone call. Mosabi, you're on my list of calls to call back, and I was out on inspections till about 12 o'clock today. But
Okay,
tomorrow, I promise you, I do call everybody back. You know that. We have a line of people coming in. My door is open for everybody.
Anything you
Okay.
want to talk about?
I just wanted to make a comment of what Heshy said about a person's sexual orientation making them qualified or unqualified to be president. I'm surprised that someone like you would say that, because you want to run for city council or some type of political position, and for you to say something like that, that's going to come back to bite you.
No, so I want to give you an answer on that. I have no problem that if you're gay, I have no problem that you want to change the laws of discrimination. And God forbid we should ever discriminate or hurt a gay person. But sometimes, and I'm going to tell you very serious, when a lot of the gay community, they're trying to push their ideas, or they think that it has to be all gay. Gay people are regular people like me. Okay, I don't want to hear that you're gay and I have to give you a cake, or I have to make you a gay cake, or I have to be able to rent you an apartment because you're gay or lesbian. You have to have a proper credit score. You have to be a proper person. I have two gay men living in one of my buildings, very nice people, and I always say, "How is your husband?" and "How's your husband?" and I'm very cool with them. And
You're
I give them
100%
five.
right, Heshy. Equal rights does not mean superior rights.
That's right.
It means
Exactly.
equal rights for all, regardless of your.
I love you. That's what I'm trying
Very
to say.
good.
Don't think that I have to hire you or make you anything because
You're
gay.
a certain race or a
Right.
gender.
I have, and people say to me, Heshy, what about women? You're all prejudiced against women. That's not true. Matter of fact, my office manager is a woman. People make fun of me.
And so's
she's
his wife.
And a black woman, matter of fact, and people make fun of me. Says Heshy.
And so is Etty and Soya.
Thank
Right.
you.
Two women over here.
So I just want
And
you
I'm
to
getting
know,
a hormonal overload just looking at me.
But my problem is that the guy running for president is pushing his gay status. Look at me, like this lady, Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, she's a very nice lady, and Hillary said something bad about her, so she's so upset about it because she's a little girl woman that she's now suing her for $50 million. Come on, you're running for a politician just like me. You take it like a man or a woman, and you handle it. But every minute I have to be scared, in the office. And what am I saying to the woman? How with the Me Too movement?
It's
the gay people,
Yeah.
with the black
It is
people, and I am
overkill,
the
no
least
question.
prejudiced person on this planet.
Yeah.
I'm the least person that worries about me having to worry about sexual. And in my office, there's no such thing as sexual discrimination.
Actually, we should
Because
call
we
it Me
do not-
Three.
Yeah,
for you.
but we don't. But you know why?
No,
Because
Me Three for you.
Soya, honey, please. The last time I gave you a furtive glance, you threatened to take me to court and sue me for
Wow.
sexual discrimination.
he's funnier than me. But Steve, my point is that I do not believe in discrimination. But when you're trying to push your opinions on me because you're gay, because I have to hire you because you're a lesbian, because of that, it's unacceptable.
Absolutely.
What's that?
That's not what you said. What you said was he's not qualified to be president because he's gay. He's not qualified to be president because
He's not qualified.
to be president.
Right.
And by the way, a woman can design you a beautiful kitchen and that, because there are many women architects out there.
Yes.
Oh, Steve, don't even think for a moment. I love women architects and designers. As a matter of fact, next week we're going to have Sarah Gluck on the show. She's one of the leaders of the Lady Hatzola movement, and we use her. She's a great interior designer. I never said a problem with designing the kitchen or being an architect. I'm talking that she should be the one installing my kitchen and fixing my plumbing and carrying that heavy stone cover. I don't believe she could do it.
For that, you need a real woman like Soya.
Let me just tell you one thing.
Yes.
I have a collision person who is a female who is unbelievable. She actually does the work on the body and the painting and fixing the cars. And I wouldn't trade her for the world. And she happens to be a female. So a person's sexual orientation does not mean they're not qualified to a profession.
We agree. Don't listen to every word that Heshy says. A lot of it is in jest. Don't take it so literally.
Well, unfortunately, when he says the words have meaning.
Yes, they do.
And as a politician, sometimes you got to be Careful with your words.
You know
got
what?
you, but
I'm
you-
going to have a
but you
talk
know-
with his
but-
wife, the boss,
Yeah,
tonight about
please.
this.
I want you to know, Steve. You're right. I do. Sometimes I do talk a little too much, but you know what? I really believe in my heart that when I'm standing on a construction site, I don't want a woman carrying the bricks inside for me. I really don't. I know you're going to say it's wrong. I don't want her carrying the bricks because after 12 bricks and she falls down and hurts herself, I'm going to have a big lawsuit. I want a big man like me, 400 pounds, carrying those bricks in and out. And I know even if he falls or something hits him, nothing will hurt him.
What Heshy is suggesting, in fact,
you fall down, and he'll make a workers' compensation claim too.
right, but what Heshy is suggesting, in fact, is that there are, in fact, indeed, historical gender roles. And there are certain gender roles that apply to men and certain gender roles that apply to women. No matter how much you mix and intermingle them nowadays, that you still can't separate the bottom line that God made a man and God made a woman.
And I want you to know,
Okay.
my wife
He's
is in charge of.
anti-Montessori.
My wife is in charge
Yes.
of. My wife is a superintendent in charge of buildings. My wife collects rents. My wife does paperwork. She drives around. She babysits. She goes to the hospital. She volunteers. She feeds felons. She does everything. I have no problem with a woman being strong and smart and even being, oh God, president. God forbid. But I'm just saying,
It's a joke.
it's a joke. But for sure not borough president if the name is De Blasio. Steve, you're wonderful.
We
I
gotta
love
go.
Don't forget,
We have other calls coming in.
you. We lost him. Take line 4. Hello, you're on the air with Heshy.
Yeah, hi, Heshy. You're the best show. You and Rabbi Levin are the only people that tell the truth.
You see, you put me, and you said I was lying.
No, the only people. Now, listen. Dov Hiken switched our sanitation day to Shabbos, Saturday and Wednesday, okay? Now, if they collect the garbage in the morning, which they started out to do in the beginning, it's one thing. But right now, every Shabbos, Borough Park is garbage city. You go to shul in the morning, and this week they're going to bench for Chodesh. All the ladies will be out there. They don't collect the garbage till 5, 6 o'clock at night. And you have to maneuver yourself past all this garbage to get down the street. It's crazy.
The only reason he did it because it does lessen the congestion. One day, I know it's good.
I know. It's not the worst. It's pretty bad, but it's not the worst thing in the world. You're right, but it still hasn't been fine-tuned.
Right.
It has to be collected early in the morning.
I agree with you. And not only that, I also want to work on the parking congestion problem. None of our people that made promises to us 2 years ago have come through with anything, from special education to parking to the sanitation, alternate side of the street parking. None of them. And this is just unacceptable. And that is going to be my first tasks to handle those ideas.
You want to hear a good story?
Go ahead.
I have a driveway in front of my house. It was alternate side of the street parking. Okay? So as soon as 11 o'clock came and you were able to park already, no, it was the other side you weren't allowed. My side you were allowed. So one of these little smart cars parked himself right in back of alongside my driveway. He was sticking in a drop into my driveway. Now, my daughter teaches, and she leaves her car in my driveway. So she came and I left her car. Now, he had to get out, and he was wedged. Now, she was parked by my driveway, but he was wedged. You know what he did? He took the air out of her tires.
Terrible.
Wow.
Rivki, I'm sorry, but we do need a constituent liaison, somebody that takes phone calls.
It's really bad.
I know.
There's a lot of bad things. Now, let me ask you something else.
One thing I'm going to hold you to, Heshy. I got my own issue.
Go ahead.
I don't want school buses parked on the city streets where we have to have our parking. I can't cope with it anymore.
One minute.
I want the school buses in lots where they belong.
So, Boomy, if you would have listened to me for 2 years, that lot on 56th Street, I want to use it for parking. Buses can never park. 1,400 buses, which is 3,900 spots, they take away from us in the street.
That's right. And we don't have enough
all
parking
those
hazards.
buses parking there during the night and during the day when they're not being used to park over there as well.
Absolutely.
And that's it. and that's my plan.
And it's
nobody
not
has
just
followed for 2
buses.
years. I even put it in writing and submitted it to Kalman Yeager. And you know why he's not doing it? Because he wants to give away the sanitation lot to some organization for $1 billion. That's what he wants to do.
I expect you to do it, Heshy.
I promise you I will do it.
It's not just the buses, the tractors, all kinds of construction things are parked on the street.
Well,
I was complaining about that.
You're going to see my congestion driving on how I'm going to take cars
It's
off the street.
dangerous for the children.
I know.
That they shouldn't climb into these things.
I know.
These big, I don't know what you call them, these cherry picker things were parked on my block.
We want to talk about something else. If I want to ask you one question before I get you off the phone. They are now stopping on March 1st the distribution of plastic carry-out bags. It's being banned in the state of New York. Our politicians really have nothing to do with their lives, so they're so busy creating this new stupid legislation. Do you actually agree that we should have no more plastic bags? We have to take our own bag back and forth to the
plastic bags are really helping the economy because people reuse them.
Right.
People, especially from people that have little kids with diapers, are constantly using those bags.
I use it as garbage bags in my little cans.
It's definitely better for the economy.
I know. But our stupid, again,
right.
assembly and a stupid city council have nothing to do with themselves. And just Cuomo gets up, by the way, Cuomo, $175 billion budget, who he couldn't even balance the budget with $6 billion off. $175 billion, and you couldn't make things work. My God, you put me in charge of these budgets. Not only will I show you a profit, okay, I'll make things work better. Wow, I am.
And we're expecting it of you.
Election time is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Be prepared. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Heshy, there's a couple of Hasidic women that feel they're being neglected. They would like to have a free gym in Borough Park where they could maybe roller skate or exercise or do some dancing. They're not allowed to go on the street to ride a bike or jog or anything. And they're working and they're paying high rent. They don't have money to join some kind of a gym. They have little kids too. They're paying tuitions. They would like the Borough Park community to designate a gym for them.
Well, what I was thinking is before they want to close down the Y and move it somewhere else. By the way, we're giving away the Y to a Bubba organization. Right. Now they have not shown us the plan of where they're building this new Y. They've just shown us something of what they're doing for the Bubba. They're not promising us anything. And you're right, there should be, and there are separate men's and days women in these Ys. We should make more. I agree.
But it costs money.
So right, the Y costs money, but there should be a way, because this Y was not built by the government. It was built by fathers and mothers of mine that donated money to this building, people like me that donated and became members throughout time. So you're right, there should be a way, and it's something that I'm very impressed that you gave it to me, and I'm going to think about it. It's a very good idea. I like it.
I like it as well. I'm disappointed about what's happening with the YMHA because my mother happens to be a member of the what do they call it? Senior citizen.
And we're going to close that
widows.
Right.
They're going to close all these things down. They go on trips. They do so many wonderful things for
and
the
it's
widows,
located
for Holocaust survivors.
Dead
center in Borough Park.
I love you. Exactly.
Dead center.
And we're
a disaster.
Right. Okay.
Anyways, thank you, Ifki. Our show's coming to an end, so we're going to have a few little topics. What do you think about the plastic bags? Is just that a stupid rule?
It's absolutely ridiculous. We've been using plastic bags all our life. We went from paper to plastic. We use them again and again and again. It's not like they're going to waste. This is simply a government that's not thinking and working for us. Government that's trying to come up with ideas to do something when they have nothing to do, or when they have a lot to do, but they're doing nothing.
Well, we had paper bags first, and we were trying to save the trees, so we got plastic bags, and now they're trying to save the environment.
Again, it's just constant with another excuse. You know, that I was watching something before we come to the end of the show that the ozone layer is being deteriorated, and we're all going to die and burn up.
We have 11 years, according to Greta.
No. I just watched the report that the ozone layer is now healing itself and it's closing up. I just saw it on TV on Channel 13 about 2 weeks ago.
Well,
the same guy that's been following for 25 years. The earth is made to heal itself. If you do believe in God and you have a belief, this is the greatest planet. This is the greatest place in the world. We just have to do a little bit of we have to take care of it. But of course, that don't think that the whole planet's going to disrupt because we throw our garbage and waste in the ocean. That's what it's made made for. The ocean is supposed to rip it apart. That's why it's created for the salt to deteriorate, to make these what's it called again? These barrier reefs or whatever. So this
Coral
is the thing.
reefs.
Coral reefs.
Correct.
This is what the world does, and I haven't seen since I'm a little kid the world getting colder, the world getting hotter.
God said it for the purpose of self-regeneration. That is what nature is all about. God created nature.
Amen.
Exactly. Very good.
Amen to that.
Anyways, everybody, our show is coming to the end. I
Yes.
want to thank Etty. You are just wonderful again. Etty, I did let you talk about anything you wanted.
Yes, thank you.
You're
Heshy.
lying, Etty. You
Much
didn't.
appreciate. I did about the coronavirus.
Oh,
Everybody,
that's it.
watch out for
Even
that.
There's only one person.
Yes.
My beautiful Sawyer and Bumi, you're smarter than me.
I wouldn't say that.
I know. I wouldn't say that either. Thank you, Shamula Jewelers. Thank
Remember,
you,
next
TT
week,
Styles.
Wednesday
Wednesday night, October
6:30
6:30 to
o'clock
8 o'clock.
at
Shomer
Shomer
Amuna.
Amuna, 5202 14th
And Dove
Avenue.
Hyken's going to be our guest speaker, and
And you will be there, Heshy, as
and I will
well.
be there clapping and
And the
cheering on
beautiful
Dove.
Sawyer will be there as our
Sawyer,
chair
too.
lady, our both our chair lady.
Fallon's, 3132 Bedford Avenue, Wolf's Grocery Store, 2362 Nostrand Avenue, and Greenlight Building.
И слушаете Dead Zone Radio.